Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I have such a good show for you today. I have a special guest on. You know him, you love him. He's John Witherspoon, attorney in the DC area. He comes on and answers a lot of our legal questions around Harry and Meghan and the royal family and has lots of opinions on all the stuff that we're all talking about. So I'm excited to have him on. We're going to be discussing all sorts of topics from what happened at that baseball game to what do we think's going on with Andrew and so much more, all the stuff that Harry and Meghan have been into lately. So without further ado, let's welcome John Witherspoon. Hi, John. How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming back. I can't believe you agreed to come back.
Once in a while, I have a moment of weakness, and
Well, that's good. Well, that works out for us. That's good.
right,
John, I have to ask you every time I have you on, have you given more thought? Have you thought about maybe starting up a channel? Do we have any announcements?
no announcements yet. Sorry to say, but I am giving it thought. That's for
Okay.
sure. So I appreciate the encouragement.
No problem. And in case people are just watching you for the first time, tell them what you're thinking about doing.
Oh, I just think it would be fun to have a channel just around DC. People are always so interested in what goes on in DC and what the sidewalks and streets and buildings and museums and monuments all look like. And I always get a lot of questions from people about that. So I thought it would be a good opportunity just to share a little bit about that and give a little bit of insider perspective.
That's awesome. That's so high on my list of places to see. I hear it's beautiful. I'm in Florida. Someday I'll have to get up there, but that's awesome. Tell everybody where to find you on Instagram so that way when you're ready to announce your channel, we can find it.
Yes, thank you for that. Witherspoon DC is my Instagram page, and it's
Mhm.
very lame at this point. I just cannot keep up with Meghan. I gave up, and so it'll be very disappointing when you get there. But when I start my channel, that'll be where I announce it. So please just go over there and um, follow the channel and follow the account, and then you'll be able to follow the channel.
I don't think what was the handle at that?
Witherspoon DC on
Witherspoon
Instagram.
DC. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll all give that a follow and make sure to check back lots. That's awesome. Well, John, if you don't mind, let's dive right on in. I guess right off the bat, I don't know what day this is coming up, so I'm sure more stuff has happened since, but at real time of filming, we're coming off this baseball disaster, watching Harry and Meghan just make, well, Harry and Meghan's of
Not
themselves.
only Jen,
Yeah.
not only baseball, but
Oh,
the the pumpkin patch
that's right.
issue.
The
I
pumpkin.
have I have I have laid awake at night contemplating. Time is running out, but I need to decide, do I cut the top of the pumpkin off, or do I do Harry style and cut the bottom of the pumpkin? It's a terrible, terrible dilemma. My world has been greatly disrupted by this burning question that Harry has foisted upon all of us.
Well,
So
guys, I think you should chime in the comments and let us know. Should John do cut the top of the pumpkin or the bottom of the pumpkin? What is your vote? But in case,
even more than that, has anyone ever cut the bottom of the pumpkin? That might be the more pressing question.
there you
Just
go.
let's cut right to it. Let's cut right to it. Has anybody ever carved a pumpkin I mean, it's as I thought everybody cut the top off,
Uh-huh.
and you cut it at an angle then so that it doesn't slip down in there.
Mhm.
And then you've got this little convenient. If God had wanted you to cut the bottom of the pumpkin, he would have put the handle on the bottom of the pumpkin. I don't want to go too far into race, politics, and religion, but in this case, I'm going to say God has determined which side of the pumpkin should be cut. And it's
Okay.
because of the handle right there.
I agree with you. I think
This is
you're
God. This is God's pumpkin handle. This is nothing down here.
Now, you said that was the title of your band name, right? God's Pumpkin Handle. Is that right?
Sure. That'll be my next band. That'll be my next band. No, but seriously,
You're right.
has anybody ever?
What bothers me is the idea. So if I'm cutting it, the idea is that I'm going to put a candle in it once I
Yeah,
carve it.
yes.
I will never be able to get it to not flop around if I cut it from the bottom. It's
Well,
already
exactly. Well, this is the thing. You're exactly right. If I mean, let's say you're far more responsible than I am, and you actually get the pumpkin cut and carved and so forth, and then spend a week or 10 days with the candle in it every evening, it gets all squishy and so forth. So the idea of you're going to put the candle on the table and then lift the entire pumpkin, and I mean, this just makes no sense at all. Like I said, like a higher power has dictated to us. These are signs that should not be ignored.
You're exactly right. Now, let me ask you a legal question since we're going into this. Can I sue Harry because he's broken my brain over the way he cut a pumpkin? Is that a
There is a thing called intentional infliction of emotional distress.
what have we been doing with ourselves? They've been doing that since before they left the royal family.
This is true. This is true. But anyway, don't Harry eyes your pumpkin. Come on. This is,
Friends don't let friends Harry eyes their pumpkin.
or something like that. I don't know exactly what. I'm sure there's a better way of saying that, but honestly, it's like I said, higher powers have made these decisions, and they should not be trifled with. They really shouldn't.
I've already learned so much from you that I didn't realize. Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about that. So we've recently seen them doing the pumpkin carving, the pumpkin patch, now the baseball game. I guess just to jump in, kick us off with some of your thoughts about all of this. What do you think's going on with the pair of them? And let me just say, as we jump in, and as I always say, these are our opinions. We have no inside knowledge, no
Right.
inside scoop. We just two friends having a chat here, and occasionally I ask you your legal opinion on things, but in general, what do you think is going on with them?
You know what? I think the overlying theme of all of the activities, and this will not come as any surprise, but it's just weirdness.
Yeah.
It is weirdness. I mean, again, where to start with all this stuff? Clearing out the entire pumpkin patch for just the whatever it was, the the four. I guess Doria makes five,
and Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus makes six. So six people,
Right.
trying to decide which of 500 pumpkins they need to carve. I mean, really.
Yeah.
And this is what I'll tell you too. There's a place like this and I've heard some references to I forget the name of it. There's a place in the Los Angeles area or somewhere around where they are. There's a place here that has been in the DC area called Markham's Haunted Forest. I've never been there. I've seen pictures of it. It looks absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. And there are places that you can go where they, farms where they actually grow pumpkins and you can get the entire experience. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that place where Meghan and Harry filmed their pumpkin escapades, I'm pretty sure that was kind of a pop-up type of a place where somebody put in some pumpkins and some hay bales and some tables and chairs and said, oh, come and pick a pumpkin. And that's fine. That's fine. But there are places where, again, in the name of being authentic, there are places where you can go and get a real experience where you can ride on a hay wagon and you can go through a haunted maze of some sort. Anyway, it just and the beauty of all of those places is the other people and the other kids that are laughing and carrying on and running around, and everybody's got a big smile on their face.
Yeah.
And to go into a place like that with only a handful of people, it's just kind of pathetic, I have to say. That's my impression of it. So continuing on the the thread of weirdness, the baseball game.
Yeah.
Who wears a dress shirt and a sport coat to a World Series baseball game? How many other people did you see in the crowd that were dressed that way? Why?
Not any.
Why?
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney, lover, hater, think she's irrelevant, whatever. Sydney Sweeney was up in the on the first suite level, and God love her, she's got a Los Angeles Dodgers jersey on, and she's wearing a little pair of jean shorts, and it's like, you go, girl. I mean, that's the way you're supposed to do a World Series baseball game,
Mhm.
not to show up in a sport coat and a dress shirt and then be handed I'm guessing some people have spent an inordinate amount of time analyzing the shade of the Los Angeles Dodgers hats that Meghan and Harry were wearing. And everybody's saying, well, clearly those hats just came out of the bag that they were shipped in from China because they're pristine and the blue is this perfect electric Dodger blue. And it's like, okay, fine. I don't know if they brought the hats from home. I don't know if somebody handed them to them on the way to the, seats, but just the weirdness of that. And then Meghan's Instagram post
Yeah.
where she put we're at the Dodgers game and the apostrophe DODGER apostrophe S, like singular is Dodger.
Right.
Who does this?
What is
Who
it
does-
owning? That it'd have to possess something. Yeah. What is it possessing?
Right. Why is there an apostrophe in there?
Yeah, I don't know.
On the players, does it say, DODGER apostrophe S? No.
She's under fire too, because on her Instagram, I think the last post, she posted something about sandwiches and it was spelled wrong. And they were just
Yes.
teasing about
I
that.
think you put a T in the sandwiches.
Yeah,
Sand, WITCHES. Yeah.
You fly out on your broom and eat a sandwich.
Right. Sandwiches on broomsticks. Exactly. Anyway, I just
That's
thought,
the
and
name of
then,
my band, by the way, in case you wondered. Yeah, sandwiches on broomsticks.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, I was talking with some people recently about that whole visit to the World Series game, and then to portray that as, what did she say, date night or something like that?
Yes, she listed it as date night. It's so odd.
So in other words, what she's saying, this was just this goofy little frolic that we got.
Mhm.
I don't know if people are aware. There are people. My dad is a rabid baseball fan,
Okay.
and he has been since he was, I don't know, 13 or 14 years old.
Mhm.
And when his team went to the World Series several years ago, he would have paid any price to get a ticket, to get an airplane ticket and a stadium ticket to see just one game. Those tickets, if you looked on StubHub for people, I don't know if they have it I'm assuming they have it in Canada, maybe in the UK, maybe in Australia, wherever anybody else is watching. StubHub is where you go if you have a ticket to a concert or a sports event or something and you want to resell it. StubHub is sort of the place to go to. Anyway, someone was saying that had those tickets where they sat, those front row seats, basically right behind home plate, those tickets had a market value on the resale market of somewhere in the neighborhood of $25,000 each.
Wow.
And people would have been willing to pay that had they been available to the general public.
Oh
So
my.
my point is, for them to sort of just say, we had a little, we had a date night. It's
Yeah.
like this is for the average person who is a sports fan. This is the occasion of a lifetime. There are
Yeah.
people like my dad who have waited decades for their team to get into a World Series playoff series and to get in there and be able to watch the game. Like I said, any price for this money is kind of no object for people to get in there. And there are people that would not be able to afford it, people who would literally mortgage their house probably and I'm not exaggerating, people who
Sure.
would mortgage their house, sell their automobile, whatever it was, for a chance to see a game like that, especially in the front row, and for them to be there just, oh, we're just having fun, ha ha ha. You know,
Right.
it's like they've gone to the movies on Saturday night. It's just offensive to the average person, I think. It
And to
really
make
is.
it worse, don't tell your dad this because we don't want to make him mad. But allegedly, the rumors floating around are that they did not stay the whole time. They were bickering quite a bit, and I believe would disappear for innings at a time.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, this is all opinion, but I'm just wondering aloud, and if you have thoughts on this, please. Did they pay for these tickets or did they pull strings to get these tickets? Somebody paid, but
Probably somewhere in the middle, I would have to say, because those seats were probably the property of someone in team ownership.
okay.
Given the fact that Magic Johnson was sitting behind them, that makes sense. Sandy Koufax, one of the greatest baseball players ever, sitting behind them. Now, I've heard some people say, in fairness, that Sandy Koufax does not like to sit in the front row. And look, the
Okay.
guy can sit wherever he wants, and no one cares. But
Uh-huh.
at the same time, even if that's the case, I would be embarrassed to sit in the front row of a game like that. I
Same.
really would. I really
Mhm.
would. And I think, quite frankly, there are reports, there are videos floating around. I'm sure most people have seen them, of their pictures going up on the TV screen in the outfield on the scoreboard.
Mhm.
And I would say at best, they got a room temperature reception from the crowd. There are some people who are claiming that there was, everybody in the place started booing. I don't necessarily agree with that, but at the same time, it was a tepid at best response that they
Right.
received from the crowd. I think that's what's most indicative. I mean, imagine, just as an example, let's say, I know not everybody loves Taylor Swift, but what if they had put Taylor Swift's
Oh,
picture up?
sorry. I have it if you wanna hear it
Yeah,
really quick. Would you like to
yeah.
hear it? Sorry, I didn't mean for it to play. Here you go. It's not that everybody's booing, but barely anybody's cheering, and then you do hear the audible boos, so,
Yes,
yeah.
there are definitely some boos in there. It's not overwhelming, but
Right.
um, not
Not a
not
warm reception, yeah.
yes, that's exactly right. Not the greatest reception in the world for the two of them. And
You were
um,
saying about Taylor
I, I,
Swift, yeah.
I was also going to say there were two versions of them being called out. One was when they went on that video that you just showed, when they're on the scoreboard. And then there's another version where a TV camera from the broadcast of the game, a guy had a handheld camera and literally walked in front of them.
Mhm.
Not, maybe it was a woman, I don't know, with a
Sure.
TV camera. Anyway, somebody walked in front of them with a TV camera and, took their pictures sitting there watching this game.
Uh-huh.
And it, the title was different. On one of them, they said Prince Harry and Meghan, Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And on the other one, the graphic, the so-called lower third,
Uh-huh.
was different at the bottom. But
Thinking I had it, yeah.
yeah, like I said, it just was, I think, a net negative. The whole thing was a net negative for the two of them for all the reasons that I've articulated. It just was not.
Not a
It was
good
not
look.
a good opportunity. It was not a good opportunity in the way, again, in the way that Sydney Sweeney was up in the balcony. She's just hanging out. She's
Right.
hanging out. She's watching a baseball game. She didn't go there for the publicity. She went there because it was a fun time.
Sure,
And that's
absolutely.
not, I don't think, why Meghan and Harry were there.
Nope,
Otherwise, Meghan would not have had to put a label on it and say, we're just having fun. Well, guess what? If you had to tell everybody you were having fun, you probably weren't having that much fun. I'm just saying. And again, if had they put somebody's picture in on the outfield fence, or excuse me, on the outfield scoreboard, like
uh-huh.
let's say they had put Taylor Swift up there, I can't imagine that everybody would have just sat on their hands.
Right.
Some people would have, because not
Sure.
everybody likes Taylor Swift. A lot of
Right.
people don't like Taylor Swift, but you get the point. Or someone
Anybody
who is
else, I think, yeah.
yes, someone who's a universally liked
Right.
character
Uh-huh.
if they had put, again, Sandy Koufax, or you go down to Texas, they put Nolan Ryan's picture up on the screen. People go berserk.
Yeah.
Nolan Ryan's very famous pitcher, used to, play for a team in Texas, and universally beloved. And that just was not the reaction that the two of them got.
You're right.
So I think it's very interesting. And at the same time, what I think it also is interesting is inside Meghan's head and inside Harry's head, they probably saw that scenario play out, and they probably thought to themselves, you know what? Well, no matter where you go, you're not going to be universally loved. There are going to be some detractors in the crowd. And maybe people were distracted by something on the field, that they weren't looking at the scoreboard in the outfield when our picture came up. And maybe this and maybe that. And I find it interesting as well that they actually had to put their names on the scoreboard. It's like, oh, by the way, the people that you're looking at, this is Prince Harry and his lovely wife, Meghan. What again, if you put Taylor Swift's picture up there, she doesn't need her name at the bottom of at a caption at the bottom of the screen. I think that's very indicative as well.
I think so too.
It's not only indicative of the level of recognition that the two of them have in the grand scheme of Southern California and the world and everything else, but it's also indicative of the level of pre-planning that probably took place.
Yep, I think so.
I mean, there was a reason why. I mean, if somebody offered me the opportunity to go to that game and they said, we've got tickets right in the front row, wouldn't you like to go and sit in front of the people whose money bought this team? I would say, I'm so flattered to be invited, but I do not want to sit in the front row. This is your team, your game. I just wouldn't have done it. I just would not have done it. Second row, third row, fourth row, I'm still thrilled to be there. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I will not sit in the front row.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I think was interesting was that normally when you see people at a game like that, they're chatting among themselves, they're chatting with the people behind, they're chatting with the people on either side. I didn't see any evidence of that. I have not seen any press coverage of the two of them looking around and, just having a good time.
Yeah.
They seem to be there for themselves, almost exclusively.
I agree completely, which is a departure for Harry from previous, because I remember that famous picture where he's having popcorn, maybe at a baseball game or something, and the little girl, or tennis, and the little girl. And it's a rare time where where Harry was like cute, he was fun with the little girl. And
right. Well, and speaking of little kids, I mean, the question has been raised as well. Where were his children, especially Archie?
Yes.
I mean, little kids love to do stuff like that. There's all this hoopla. They probably had fireworks. Their place is packed. There's enormous energy. And we've all seen the pictures of Prince William and his kids, especially his boys. Catherine has gone to Wimbledon with various combinations of kids, but in particular her daughter, but William with the two boys. And why would you miss an opportunity to do something like that, especially given how much Harry apparently, it's more than apparently, I think he really enjoys the company of little kids.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that's one of the things that when he's at his best, he is in the company of small children, whether his own or somebody else's. And yet here's an opportunity, a golden opportunity, to not only showcase yourself with your son, Archie, but also to give the kid a once in a lifetime experience.
That's it. Yep. You were talking about how your dad is a mega fan. My Gosling is a huge baseball fan. So if I went to a game without her, I'd never hear it would break my heart. I couldn't do it.
Right.
I just couldn't do it. So to elaborate on what you're saying, imagine the idea that they, in theory, what it seems like is they're waiting to show the kids full, even though we've kind of seen them, for a payday. So imagine that you're missing out on all these once in a lifetime childhood memories and experiences and stuff because mom and dad want a paycheck to show your face. That's
Right.
bonkers. That's bonkers. It really is. It's not right, in my opinion, but
No, it's really not. It's really
mm-mm.
not. And they could argue all they want about, oh, well, it's a security issue and it's a this
Right.
and it's a that. And
That's what parenting is. It's weighing out the safety versus the experience and everything else. You make these million decisions every day. Every
yes,
day. I don't show my Gosling on here, but if we got the opportunity to go to a baseball game and we accidentally got filmed, I'm taking that risk. I'm weighing out the risk versus
yeah,
reward because she'll always remember it. I
that's
couldn't
right. Yeah,
couldn't and I'm nobody compared, you know what I mean? Like in compared to these big celebs, but I'm saying like that's just what you do as a parent.
that's right.
So
That's right. And it's tragic. It really is tragic and unfortunate.
yeah, it is. It really is. But that leads me back into the date night. I have two theories on why she keeps calling it date night. It's so they can explain away why don't they bring their kids places? I think
Yes.
that's her way of blanketing that. And the other thing is, she just released this candle, $64 candle. I cannot roll my eyes hard enough
Plus
about
shipping.
plus shipping and tax. You're right.
Right.
Um, $64 for a plus candle based on their wedding. Now, they can't sell crap based on their wedding if they clearly hate each other, right? So they have to do things like we're on date night. Oh, we're holding hands, but we're holding hands from a mile away.
Right.
That kind
Right.
of thing. So
Yeah.
I think it's all playing back into that. They have to sell a love story that doesn't necessarily exist.
Right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just somebody said to me the other day, which I thought was a very insightful comment. We were talking about the people who support Meghan and think that she's great and are staying up until whatever hour of the middle of the night when her website goes live and her new merchandise drops. Somebody said, these are the same people potentially that when Drew Barrymore gets down on her knees on her TV show and she holds hands with whoever her guest is who's sitting on the couch and whatever it is that she does, there are a lot of people who think that that is authentic and that that's the most beautiful, wonderful, magical thing that they've ever seen. I think this person said, those are probably the same people that, as I said, are waiting up until midnight to buy Meghan's stuff. And they're out there. They're out there. But again, the whole idea of a $64 candle, it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre.
It is. And I mean, I've been through this. Like, it's one thing if you have a reputation built up for these outstanding products, people will pay for different things, but she does not have that. So
That's right.
even your people, like you said, that the Meghan defenders, whatever, I just can't imagine even they would just sight unseen, smell unseen. Most of them would not spring for that kind of
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I cannot understand who that candle is for and who's buying it without smelling it and no reputation built up. Do you like to buy candles, John?
Well, not for me, but I have some exclusively female friends who really like candles. And I'll just give you an example here. Here's a candle that I bought for a friend recently, and you can say this is by the size of my hand. This is not a small candle. This is, I think, 15 ounces. Mango Lagoon.
Ooh, nice.
Fragrance made in the USA. 15 ounces. Rancho Cucamonga, California is where the company is located. And I paid all of
Wow, nice.
$8 for it. And
Wow.
I think it came from TJ Maxx or whatever its equivalent is in the UK, TK Maxx or whatever. Anyway, the point being, the person who's going to receive this from me will not care one bit about the fact, and she'll probably say, if I told, assuming she asked and I told her,
Mhm.
if she found out it was $8, she'd be like, "Good for you. That's a
Yeah,
great deal.
that's right.
Wow. You not only got me a good candle, but you got me a candle that you didn't pay $64 for." And this has it says a burn time 56 hours.
Wow. That's
I don't know.
amazing.
I mean, sure, fine, whatever. But, the point being, it's not the price. It's
Right.
not the price.
What
It's the
smells
thought that
good.
counts, as everybody always says.
Yeah,
And when I saw Meghan's candle erupt on Instagram and on her website and so forth, I remembered that I had bought this candle for a friend,
that's cool.
bought it in advance,
Uh-huh.
birthday coming up at some point, and I just thought, to me, this is a lot more meaningful than what you spent. How much? That's a
Right.
Meghan Markle candle. You spent
Right.
$64 plus shipping.
Yeah.
You nuts?
Right.
Take me to dinner.
Yeah.
Or, honestly, or buy me a tank of gas or something. Anything. It's like, I can't believe you would have done that. That would be the
Yeah.
reaction of people. And don't get me wrong, these are people who really like their nice stuff,
Uh-huh.
my friend included. And I think most people would just say, "Are you kidding me? Are
Right.
you kidding me?
That
What's
yeah.
wrong with you that you thought that I would be impressed with a $64+ candle,
Right.
especially when it has its origins in Meghan Markle?"
Right. No, I agree completely. I can't
But
understand it.
as I said, though, that there are people who will buy it. I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt about that. By the way, I think that as long as she keeps rolling stuff out, the other question I've gotten recently is, well, when do you think the Meghan bubble is going to burst? I do not think it is going to burst organically.
Mhm.
It will only because her brain, I do not think, in my opinion, is not wired up in such a way that she will stop and take stock of her few successes and apparently large number of failures, and she will not have the introspection to be able to say, well, wait a minute, let's, as she says, what are the learns from
Uh-huh.
all of the things that have gone on as I've launched my business and thrown out these, $1 million business buzzwords.
Tranche of skews.
Exactly. I don't think that that's ever going to occur to her, that she needs to stop and take stock of things and maybe change her direction or change her behavior or anything like that. If she had the capacity to do that, I think it would have taken place long before now.
Right. I
If
agree.
I think if she had a sense of introspection, if she had a sense of shame, that was substantive in uh, being an ingredient in her business, enterprises and so forth, I think that would have reared its head before now. In my opinion, I
Mhm.
just don't see her. Brittany over at Royal News Network hits this all the time. Brittany is incredibly thoughtful about the way that she analyzes what Meghan is doing and so forth, and I have to agree with her wholeheartedly. By the way, speaking of other YouTubers, I just want to take a moment and
Yeah.
um, anybody who has followed the Megxit YouTube community for a while has seen Lady Colin Campbell. Apparently, she's in the hospital. She took a fall of some sort.
Mhm.
And I realize she's a little bit of a controversial figure, but at the same time,
Yeah.
she's a
Mhm.
person, and she
Mhm.
deserves our sympathy and our good wishes. And so I want to just mention that, she's hurt. And I
Yeah.
saw her yesterday. She had done a video lying in her hospital bed, which was
Oh.
a bit of a departure from her usual surroundings in Castle Goring when she talks about Meghan and Harry. But
Oh, I need to hear that. Yeah.
I want to send out wishes to her, and also it's Kim,
Okay.
who sometimes collabs with. She has her own channel, and she sometimes collabs. I know she's just had some surgery for her appendix, I think, and um, so she's um, recovering, and I think
Mhm.
frustrated that she's lying in bed in probably some discomfort. But I want to
Mhm.
acknowledge her as well, and
Yeah.
also
Uh-huh.
my friend. I have a friend whose dog named Cal.
I have a picture of Cal if you'd like me to pop Cal up on the screen.
And people are wondering, why is the dog named Cal? Well,
Oh, so cute.
I'll leave it to you to figure out. Cal has just turned 15. So
Oh,
that's why Cal is having a little birthday cake there.
oh.
And so I want to give a shout out to Cal
Hi,
because,
Cal.
yeah,
Wow. Did you say 15?
that's what her dog mom has told me that
That's
she's,
incredible.
that Cal is 15. So
Amazing.
that's what her
Well,
mom
yeah,
said.
happy birthday to Cal, and our thoughts and prayers are with Lady C and with It's Kim as well. Thank
Yes,
you
thank
for
you.
pointing that out. No, that's I think it's good to talk about that stuff. Yeah, we wish them nothing but the best for sure.
Yeah. And, I'll just say again, it's very easy to talk smack about Meghan and Harry and all of their
Mhm.
apparent shortcomings or alleged shortcomings and all that kind of stuff. I mean, these are the thing that makes it so interesting, I think, to talk about the two of them
Mhm.
and other members of the royal family that I know you wanted to talk about a little bit too, is that, these are people, and the comparing and contrasting of, okay, well, this is my existence. These are my friends. These are my family members. These are things that I like to do. And you have that sense in your head
Mhm.
of what normal looks like. And then you got Meghan and Harry.
Yeah.
And that's where the fascination comes from. And it
Mhm.
just so happens that the fascination happens to be in a negative kind of a direction.
Mhm.
Like I said, wearing a sport coat to a baseball game, World Series game.
Yeah.
Did you again, Sydney Sweeney, she's doing it right. Prince
Mhm.
Harry, come on, come on. Anyway,
I
I
couldn't agree
digress.
more. Couldn't
Yeah,
agree more. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed this part of my sit down with John Witherspoon. There's tons more stuff to come. So check back lots as I put out more episodes from our conversation. Again, a huge thank you and shout out to John Witherspoon for taking his time and answering all of our questions. Really appreciate that. And again, I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. I hope you all have the best day. Make sure you follow him at Witherspoon DC on Instagram. And hopefully he'll get his channel up and running very soon. All right, take care. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.